Well, here we go. I really desperately did everything I could to avoid talking about this one. I really didn't want to. Boy, did I not want to. But this one kind of, let's just put it this way, this one kind of had to do it. Well, I'm going out on a limb here that 10 to 1, you've probably heard of a certain, on the paper, it's a diversity and inclusion advisory agency called Sweet Baby Inc. Well, I would hate to break it to you. There's a lot of them. Boy, there's a lot of them. Alright, come on. Come on. That's weird. Why isn't this updating? Let's pull that and do this. Alright, there we go. I don't know, I was frozen up over there. There's a lot of them, okay? Diversity window, corporate diversity consultant, diversity advisors, all this is DEI, okay? Diversity advisors, free diversity resources, Florida Diversity Council, promoting and practicing diversity in advertising, rationals. But basically, it was right to say, I'm not going to explain to you how, who's funding this, because, well, I kind of touched on this. Okay, but I just wanted to make you realize there is a lot of them, okay? And unfortunately, you're not always going to find DEI on the front, but suffice it to say, it'll stick out worse than if a rhinoceros took a steaming shit in your bed, okay? Because you know it, you can tell when it's touched, okay? When it's been touched by these evil lunatics that claim to be diversity, inclusivity, equity. Code for we're fucking racist assholes. That we only want to advance ourselves. We only want to benefit ourselves. Well, basically calling you, people with a brain, people with common sense, the racist, bigoted people. Okay? Alright? Yellow Flash has been covering this very extensively. Okay? Alright? But what I'm about to do is this bullshit is getting itself into the gaming industry just in time to watch it wither away and die. Because you gotta realize, pretty much since the PlayStation 2, each console's been selling less and less. It's reached a point now where all of the console manufacturers ain't even officially releasing their numbers anymore. Okay? And if it's got an Xbox and Nintendo port, I'm about to show you why you're going to have to approach with severe caution. Okay? Welcome to Xbox. Okay? At Xbox, we believe that gaming is for everyone. We strive to make life more fun. Racist and bigoted towards a certain gender and skin color demographic because we need the money to stay afloat. Okay? Alright, let's just put it to you this way. Alright? There's a reason Xbox is having no choice, okay? Oh, crud. I didn't want... You remember the Xbox Kinect? And how they bought Lionhead Studios and other, game manufacturers to basically make stuff for Kinect? Remember that? How Xbox Xbox division of Microsoft basically bet the farm, the car, the house, the cow on the Xbox sensor, Kinect sensor. Yeah, there's 2 different top 10 failures of Xbox. Okay. So basically, Xbox has now gone on their hands and knees to DEI money, begging the United States government, other governments, and BlackRock and Vanguard to please give us money. Microsoft might pull the plug on this. You might remember, you know, when everybody was saying, "Yeah, Xbox is going to be gone in a while." Yeah. They took that situation and basically decided, you know what, we're going to pour every accelerant we can on that one. Now apparently, okay, the world by creating gaming experiences that everyone can enjoy, because when everyone plays, we all win. You're not winning this one, Microsoft. You sped this up. You sped this up so much that enjoy, because when everyone plays, we all win. We believe games should be. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, stop the press. Here it is, inclusive of all. Yeah, DEI inclusivity. Remember DEI inclusivity? Yeah, sure. Oh, there it is. Diversity is a strength we strive to be. Yeah. This is accessible to all. Nothing should come between you and the games you love. We strive to eliminate barriers and to empower gamers to customize the way they play. Yeah, sure. Basically, can we have the super duper game can play itself mode? Remember? Our reporters were complaining, that one game that pretty much goes out of its way to kill you about 10 minutes in. Remember that? Oh, save for all. Yeah, basically, if you're of a certain gender and skin, just don't try. Just don't try. Let these other genders and these other skin tones kill you 10 seconds in and thank them for it. Basically, gaming's a fun, but yeah. All right, you getting this, right? Because this is Microsoft, I will not run any of their videos, but suffice it to say, Xbox.com, English, US community for everyone. You can literally come here, okay, and literally watch the videos and all that, okay, and how they're basically saying, yeah, Xbox, if you want to put games on our platform, you will comply to DEI. That's it. You will obey. Alright? You will obey the DEI overlords and masters. Because we were pretty much on borrowed time. Okay? And ladies and gentlemen, I regret to report, it's not just Xbox. No, sorry, it's not just Xbox. Okay? It's not just Xbox. No, sorry. It's not just Xbox. I want to puke. I really do want to puke. I do. Nintendo, you're a Japanese, but this is the American division of Nintendo. I'll be right back. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the... I don't know. You're probably not old enough to remember this. Look up the Night Trap hearings and how the witch hunts used all of the scenes of... Okay, whatever. How they used all of the scenes of failure from Night Trap to push this narrative, and Nintendo of America's representative got on there and said, "I can assure that Night Trap will never be on a Nintendo console for as long as I'm the CEO." Oh, video game industry, what have you done? And how Nintendo had replaced the blood in Mortal Kombat with sweat, and Sega did the whole blood code thing. I'm old enough to remember all of this. Yes, sir, I'm old enough to remember all of this. Yep. I'm old enough to remember all of this. This whole DEI thing, I mean, this is a no-win situation. This is a no-win situation. Okay? With Sony's censorship of Japanese games. And now Nintendo's doing this. Employee resource groups, no one can put smiles on the... Okay, together our ERGs are creating an enduring legacy that is uniquely to Nintendo. Bond, Black and Nintendo dialogue. Rainbow working together. This shit makes me scream. Nintendo, women and allies. Oh, for fuck's sake. What are you doing, Nintendo? You're a Japanese I mean, you have been pretty much... I mean, yeah. You had... With the Wii U, yeah, you had a rough hit with the Wii U. But your Switch was basically utterly steamrolling Xbox and PlayStation. Almost 2-to-1, Nintendo. Instead of Nintendo getting advisors, they're actually hiring the poison. I mean, this is worse than if you're Nobunaga and you just literally united all of it, okay? And then you're sitting there on your throne and you look at your cook and say, "I'm unbeatable. Give me the scorpion venom." This is utterly insane. I mean, Sony was extremely censoring the games that was going on to their console. Nintendo was like, "Okay, put it on there." With the Switch. So people are gravitating to the Switch because it was, play any way you want. It's literally now deranged censorship. So Sony in California, or Nintendo and Xbox DEI games. But you know what? DEI. You got a problem. You know what the problem is? I'll show you what the problem is. You're literally going into an industry that's literally now on Steam. 90,423 games. I have to make sure it's just filtered to games. 54,441 indie games. Stardew Valley, Entrailed, Rust, Supermarket Simulator, Pal World, Last Epoch, RimWorld, Balloon Story Defense 6, No Man's Sky. You get this? You get this? DEI is coming into an industry that's already in the big it's a severely bad situation here. They don't need this. I mean, all this is going to do is push everyone. This is just on Steam. This ain't the games that's on other, like, GOG and, you know, Epic Games stores and all that. This is just literally on Steam. This is just Steam. 10 to 1. If you're watching this video, 10 to 1, you're probably, most of your newer games is probably leaning to indie developers now. I mean, even Papers, Please and Five Nights at Freddy's started as indie games. You get it? And even other than this, okay? Alright? Even other than this, Nintendo has another problem. You want to see what the AAA and big game studios problem is? Oh. If you have the means to, play from Soul Blade to the most recent Soul Calibur game you got. Watch what happens to that content. Play Mario Tennis from the first one to the last one that was released. Alright? Because I'm going to tell you right now, between that, what happened, okay, and prior to Super Mario Brothers, when they did Donkey Kong, before they even came up with the NES, okay, Nintendo did something truly amazing. Alright? Their NES Mario Brother games, okay? They did something so utterly mind-boggling for the Super Nintendo. They remastered their NES games, put them together on a cartridge for the Super Nintendo with them remastered. Granted, the games played a little differently because it wasn't just the original games given a fresh coat of paint. They were actually do one-to-one recreations in a new game engine. It was basically comparable to when this. It was comparable to this. The Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 remaster. It was comparable to that. That level of, you know, remastering. Nintendo used to be the leaders. The innovators. And then at some point they just pretty much they just did it one time. They just did it one time. And then they do this. It makes no sense. I mean, clearly Nintendo still has it in there. I mean, they still have it in there because Nintendo's part of this. Nintendo still has that drive that we know. We have a basic idea of what you want, but something happened. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why would a company that did that great remaster and the Nintendo Switch and is part of Epic Universe do this? I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, Nintendo's partnered up with Universal. That means they're getting some sort of money. Well, they're involved in that project, Epic Universe. That in the Switch is doing well. I mean, you can actually look up the sales. I mean, the Switch is doing remarkably well. It just makes no sense. I don't know. I mean, sometimes the video game industry makes such terrible decisions. The only thing you can do, if you're as old as I am, I mean, I remember the Atari 2600. I was there for the Atari 2600. Or the Atari, VCS, as it's also, also known. I remember when Sears had their relabeled Atari 2600 in the box with both sets of controllers and the game cartridges. I was there for it. I had the NES and the Genesis. granted, I was kind of the Sega fanboy as well, so I was lucky enough to have, you know, to get the CD and the 32X on sale. And yeah, I was crazy enough. I did the whole, you know, Tower of Power thing with the CD on the CD on the side, and the Genesis, and I had like 32X on top of that for just go like put the cheat card, the Game Shark on it, and I did the Sonic and Knuckles, and then I did the Sonic 3 on top of there, just to really, you know, make it ridiculous. And smash. I mean, why? Just, I mean, the money can't be that good to be willing to basically take all of the goodwill from your customer base, your loyal customers that buys your Nintendo, your Xboxes, and your PlayStations. I mean, the money can't be that good to basically take it. And after seeing what happened to Disney and just flush it all like that, it can't be that good. I mean, you can't be throwing that much money into this. It can't be. For business to basically see what happened to every business that's done this DEI stuff. Paramount and Disney. And they go, sure, we'll hire them. And throw away our entire customer base. A business cannot do this. The most fundamental, basic principle of business is as follows. Your core customer base is your core customer base. You can't basically throw them all aside and try to attract another customer base, because the buyers that has been buying your product for years will not just up and still buy it. The stupidest quote from a CEO was Bob Iger saying, "We bought Star Wars, we own Star Wars, we can slap Star Wars on anything, not even market it, and people will buy it." And now Marvel and Disney stuff is pretty much now landfill waste, rotting in stores. It makes no sense. It does. Nintendo was always granted, Nintendo has done stuff to burn a lot of bridges, especially after, you know, yeah, they're at it again. I mean, Nintendo's always had a rough time understanding YouTube and what, you know, copyright claim, you know, people doing Let's Plays of Nintendo games back in the day. They're at it again. 2023. You know, now they're copyright claiming mods too. Sometimes I just don't know. I don't get it. Maybe it's not me to get. I mean, maybe the money from these DEI things is better than even I realized. But if I was starting a project, everything I've seen, how it goes, and what they demand. I mean, you've seen it. How games that had multiple series before DEI happened and after it hit it, like Mortal Kombat and a few other ones. I mean, for DEI, they will take their lead characters and sacrifice them on the mantle of diversity and inclusive and all that shit. DEI is in the wrong order. It should be diversity and should be swapped around to DIE, because it is literally the kiss of death for your business. I mean, it is, because the people pushing it ain't pushing it to actually make anything more inclusive. They're pushing it because they want to make it more exclusionary for themselves. It's the worst kind of group of people to bring into any business, because they want to make it exclusionary for themselves. I mean, that's what it is. It's sad to see what's happened. I mean, the video game console industry, it's in deep now. And there ain't going to be probably no saving it unless another business actually ends up getting the capital to make their own platform and release it. But unfortunately, because so many games is multi-platform, that means pretty much even games that gets on there, because they will probably want to have a Switch and Xbox port as well, would be on that one too. So you're still going to get the poison in your games. I just don't know. I'm just guessing this is going to be literally it for the console industry, because it looks to me like this is going to be the age where the next generation of consoles, your Xbox and your Nintendo, your next Xbox console and your next Nintendo consoles, buyers will probably buy a Steam Deck to have access to the indie developer scene, or just buy a PC now. Because unfortunately, the entire video game console industry has one major problem. And that's console rot. We've literally got consoles that's from generations back that's starting to literally rot away. And that's the sad thing about it. I'm sorry, people. Just when you've been part of a, when you've been part of a market as long as I have, and then seeing what it's coming to, it's kind of rough. I mean, growing up, I was Star Wars. I was a Star Trek fan. I was a Doctor Who fan. Heck, I even watched the old, prior to the Uncanny X-Men series, Marvel series and movies, Fantastic Four, with Fantastic Four with Rob the Robot. I grew up with this stuff, and then seeing the way it's being treated by people that don't understand. The very customers that grew up with them, watching CEOs that made this stuff possible being replaced by people that don't understand it, ending up becoming leaders of these businesses. Ending up with these properties because they don't understand them. They weren't there when they got started. To them, they're just basically numbers on a spreadsheet. But you know the really saddest part of all of this is? I just want you to think about this for one fucking second. The worst part of all of this is just think about this for 1 second. Okay? If when Gene Roddenberry pitched Star Trek and the CEOs from these studios had the mindset that they have today, they would not let Gene Roddenberry do Star Trek and make his first pilot and then his second pilot. You know what they would do? Oh no, because we bought. I'm gonna show you. Because we bought Buck Rogers. Let me just double check this. Let me double check this. Yeah, 1966. Alright, stand corrected. Buck Rogers was after, okay? Alright. Yeah, but it's right to say either way. I think you get my point, okay? Alright. I'm trying to remember what it was. Hold on a second. I'm trying to remember what it was called. What was it? Yeah, because it was like this. Yeah, it's from the 50s. It was like from the 50s. Yeah, it was. Yeah, all right. It was Commander. Yeah, it was Commander Cody. Yeah, they wouldn't have greenlit Star Trek because they would have just been like, "Well, we have Commander Cody," or Space Patrol. I said correct. It was Buck Rogers from 1915 and 1951. Okay. Yeah, if he pitched Star Trek, okay, if they had today's mindset, they wouldn't have greenlit Buck Rogers. They wouldn't have greenlit Space Patrol because they would have been like, we went and bought Commander Cody or Space Patrol, or Buck Rogers, or Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. If you get my drift, because of this insane risk aversion that these studios have today, if it isn't an established property, we aren't going to green light it because there's too much risk in it. You are literally having a generation robbed of their own legacy, their own voice. Because all these studios is like, no, we got Marvel, we got Star Trek, we got Star Wars, we got DC Comics, we got all of these established properties. That's just franchises that we're going to keep making over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, back in the 80s and the 90s, literally, you maybe would see a sequel here and there from like Star Trek or Star Wars or Doctor Who. But in large part, in the 80s and the 90s, 70s, I mean, pretty much from before the 50s all the way up to the 80s and the 90s, actors were actors, but they would always be in different things, different movies, different properties. And now it's pretty much it's pretty much what like Cartman said now. Hollywood and video games is becoming this. Put a chick in it, make it lame, make it gay. That's what it's become. Cartman was half right, singling out Disney. He should have singled South Park should have singled everybody out, because that's what it's reached now. Oh goodness. I didn't want to do this video. I'd hoped it just would have blown over, just would have been loud, annoying, would have had been like Gamergate, first Gamergate, where all the news sources would all be basically loud, annoying, obnoxious. I could sit back and listen to Midnight's Edge and Doomcock and Nerdrotic Daily, Nerdrotic, and just get a whole laugh out of the stupidity. But this time around it's different because literally Homeland Security, federal government, and two hedge funds is basically pretty much throwing the might of the United States economy into this one, to basically take it and doing this with it. Okay, they don't got it. They don't have it here from the meme from back in the day. Yeah, because there used to be an old meme from back in the day, back when memes was more hardcore. It was well, 10 to 1. If you're old enough, you can, from old Tabs Day, Facebook. What it was it was from peak Affordable Care Act. It was a picture of a guy basically shoving the Affordable Care Act down the person's throat. was one of those floating around for back then. I was hoping I could have found it, but couldn't find it. Screw it. Yeah. So apparently that's it. I mean, for crying out loud, you could literally look up video game studios layoffs, Xbox layoffs, Sony layoffs. Everyone that basically, every video game developer that embraces DEI crap is laying people off because it's worse than poison. I'm sorry, people. That'd be such a downer. Alright, everyone. Try to have a good one. I'm sorry. I had no choice but to make this one. I was planning on maybe making this a more reoccurring series, but the problem is that there ain't enough topics that I really feel that's really interesting enough to make a video about it. You can put your suggestions down below any of the venture capitalist videos, and I'll look into it, and maybe I'll pull up an article, 2 or 3, and maybe make a short, video about it, putting my 2 cents in if you're interested. I've been thinking of doing one on the whole Disney proxy battle, but I don't know if that'd be interesting enough for me to do it. Why Bob Iger is so desperately fighting to keep them off the board, and what some of the rumors was that's floating around. I mean, it's up to you. All right, try to have a good one, and as always, peace out, everybody.